Thank you for joining us today in this video. There's something that I've been thinking about for a while and I wanted to talk to you about and get your feedback on. And that is, have you noticed that as you have gotten older, that expectations have gotten lower? And I'm not talking about the expectations necessarily that you have of yourself, but expectations that others have of you. I'm halfway through my 78th year now, and as I've gotten older, I've noticed a number of things about expectations. I'm thinking about that when I was younger, there were so many expectations of me and of anyone of my generation. When you were a kid, you were expected to go to school. You were expected to obey your parents. You were expected maybe to go to college and to finish. Those were all things that were just naturally expected of you. If you were in Boy Scouts, as I was, you were expected to do certain things. You were expected to obey the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I mean, I still remember those things. Do a good turn every day. That sort of thing. If you were afterwards, if you then were in the military, there were things that were expected of you. You took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. There were other things that were expected. If you were captured or held prisoner, you had the soldier's code of conduct that you would have certain expectations of you and the way you were supposed to behave. And then when you got into the workforce, there were certain expectations there that it was expected you would get a job. It was expected that you would save some money. It would be expected that you did your job, that you showed up on time. And those were just expectations. But now, after you're retired and you've become, at this age, almost 78 in my case, all those expectations are gone. Nobody expects anything of you anymore. And all of those structures, school, career, military, whatever it was, that had those expectations, they're all gone. They're all gone. And as a U.S. male, at age 78, you're just about at the limit of the average life expectancy table. So not only does no one expect anything from you, they barely expect that you're even going to be alive. Wow. I mean, talk about low expectations. So how should you feel about this? Should you feel terrible or should you feel terrific? What I'm thinking of is that think of the freedom that you have now, that no one expects anything from you. The only expectations that you have are what you expect of yourself. And if you have made it to age 78, well, the odds are that as an American male, you'll live another 10 years till 88. Whoa, talk about the sweet spot. Not only does no one expect anything from you, but you have 10 years in which to either, of course, meet those expectations of nothing or meet your own expectations. Well, that's pretty cool. But so many people, instead of looking at this in a positive way, look at it in a negative way. Now, why is this? So as we age, it's common to notice a shift in how people perceive their lives and what they expect from them themselves. And low expectations, especially after the age of 78, it can be a significant issue in terms of your mental health. One reason people tend to have lower expectations as they get older is because nobody has any expectations of them. Many people look at older age as a period of decline, both in physical capabilities, in mental capabilities, in your cognitive resources. And so this stereotype becomes internalized. And so if other people don't expect anything from you and feel that you are in decline, well, you naturally accept that and think, yeah, they're probably right. I am in decline. I am no longer a productive member of society. If no one else expects anything from you, then why should you expect anything from yourself? So if people think of you as being semi-worthless, you'll think of yourself that way. Now, okay, granted that health changes may affect this. If you have chronic illnesses, or if you have some real severe mobility issues, or if you have some severe cognitive decline, it's going to be really difficult for you to think positively about yourself. And you may start to think that there's not much to look forward to. But that is not necessarily what has to be the case. If you have low expectations of yourself, research has shown that you're going to decline much more quickly. So you don't want to do that. When people expect less out of their life, they're less apt to engage in activities that bring them happiness and joy. And this can be a vicious cycle that brings you more hopelessness, more depression, and so forth. Well, that's not a place you want to be. On the other hand, maintaining high expectations of yourself or new expectations of yourself can really increase your physical health and well-being, and certainly your mental well-being. And it's a powerful reminder of how mindset affects us as we get older. So, okay, what kind of positive expectations might you have of yourself as you get older? Well, I can give you a whole laundry list of things that you probably have read about before. If you've ever looked at anything from AARP that gives you suggestions on what to do as you get ready to retire, well, they'll talk about, okay, get a new hobby, volunteer, learn to paint or be a sculptor. And they can give examples of people that have begun these type of activities as they've gotten older, and so they have new expectations of themselves. Heck, you look at former President George W. Bush. He's now a painter. I don't know how good he is, but it's something now that he expects of himself, and now other people are expecting that he should be a good painter. Anyway, so all of those things that may be suggestions for you, you want to make sure that those are really expectations that you have of yourself, not that what others have of you. Because remember, you've got that 10-year freedom window right now, or more. So whatever expectations you choose for yourself, you just have to make sure that they're yours and not anybody else's. And they can be as silly as you want because nobody else cares. They're only what's important to you. Okay, so since this is a travel channel for older people, here are some suggestions. Here are some things that you might think of as a way to increase your well-being and expectations of yourself as you get older. Okay, visit every U.S. state. Visit every country in South America. Go on some of the longest train rides in the world. Walk the Camino de Santiago or a part of it. Take tango lessons in Buenos Aires. Live on a houseboat in India for a month. Have at least one conversation with somebody from a place that you're visiting. Bring joy to every day to whoever you encounter. Sleep in a yurt in Mongolia. Swim in the Dead Sea. Okay, well, the list goes on and on and on of different travel expectations that you might develop for yourself. Again, remember that whatever they are, they just have to have some meaning for you. Doesn't matter if they're just completely ridiculous to anybody else. You can do it. We can all do it. And actually, we have to do it because if you fulfill the low expectations that everyone else has of you, that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's not a place you want to be. So if you have thoughts about any of this that we've talked about, please let me know. Let us know. Leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.